Holy moly, what did we just watch? We just saw Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, and we got to talk about it. Stay tuned, listen in, because we got some interesting things to say here on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
This is the way.
Holy guacamole, Batman. We just watched Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, and I can't wait to talk about it. Welcome, everybody, to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, the most illustrious, this is the way dude himself, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom land. And you know what? Now I was excited before, but again, we don't talk about these. We try not to talk about it. And I mean, it's easier right now with your work schedule not to talk about it. But now that I heard that excitement in your voice in the opening, I'm like, ooh, yeah, this is going to be a good one.
This is going to be a good one. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about talking about it. So we probably should go ahead and hurry up and dive into our news and geekdar and stuff.
All right,
so
let's do the news bumper. So last week I go from not having really any news to I just got bombarded with stuff.
Okay.
So just to give you a little insight to Two Geeks and a Microphone, throughout the week I will see things and I'll go, oh, that looks interesting. And I basically email it to myself to remind me to look at it later and so on and so forth and decide whether we're going to discuss it on the show. Sometimes topics get thrown out. Sometimes they stay in. So we got a few topics this morning, and let me jump over to the share screen. All righty. Okay. First topic is brought to us by Screen Geek, and they are reporting that Sydney Sweeney is possibly going to play Spider-Man in Sony's new Madam Web. Or yes, did I say Spider-Man?
You did.
All right. Spider-Woman in the new Sony's new Madam Web movie. I will be totally honest. I had no interest in this Madam Web movie. It just does not interest me. But now, if you're going to throw in Spider-Woman and she's going to look like the original Spider-Woman in the comic books, I think I might be on board. I mean, I'll have to see a trailer and all and see some confirmation of this. But if you're going to do that, I'm on board. I know nothing of this actress. Apparently, she was in Maiden's Tale or whatever that is, which I could care less.
Handmaid's Tale?
Handmaid's Tale, which I could care less about.
I haven't watched it.
I have no interest in that whatsoever. But she looks the part anyway. So I'm excited. Bring it on. All right, moving on. This comes from
number 2.
Just line them up and I'll hit them. This comes from the direct.com. Star Wars officially developing sequel stories to Rise of Skywalker.
Now, is that official?
Well, okay, it did come. They're taking this from an interview with Jon Favreau, but I think they sensationalized the headline and made it clickbait. Personally,
well, that's what everybody does nowadays. That's what's frustrating. But in all fairness, what does Jon Favreau say?
So Jon Favreau says there's definitely a conversation that's going on, and then also what happens after the sequel trilogy, because the sequel trilogy only takes place over a course of a few years, and it's a big thing on screen, and it's very eventful. But it is relatively brief moment in history over the course of thousands of years that Star Wars takes place. And so that happens after it is interesting too. And I know that there is some discussion, exploration going on about what happens after it. So that last sentence there, I know there's some discussion, exploration going on about what happens after it. Now let's go back to the headline. The headline reads, Star Wars officially developing sequel stories to Rise of Skywalker. That does not sound like they're officially developing sequel stories.
I agree. I don't think that's sequel stories. I'm just saying, hey, we're going to have more stories that take place after that. So I don't think it's sequel to Skywalker stories, but it's more of we're going to create more stories of the world continuing on after those events.
But see, the funny thing is, so far, we're not seeing anything after the events of Rise of Skywalker. Everything has been basically between the prequel and the original trilogy. And we're not seeing anything. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Andor, all of them, not one of them have happened post Rise of Skywalker. I think there's a reason for that. Maybe because the movie did not do what they had hoped. Mm-hmm. It didn't rise up to fans' expectations, and they're fearful that if they rehash that ground, that they're going to lose viewers. That's what I think. Also, I don't think Disney has any intentions of making a big Star Wars tentpole movie in the near future. Okay. Not anytime in the near future. I think they've had so much success with The Mandalorian that they think that I know the streaming has been an issue lately. I know Disney has lost some money on streaming, but the one place they haven't lost is The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is getting great views. It's still doing awesome. So I don't know. I think they think this is the future of Star Wars and not the big tentpole movies. I could be wrong, but so far I haven't seen anything to indicate that I am wrong. So
that sounded funny. Okay, go ahead.
Moving on. This is a little more of a fan cast, but I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to throw it in here. Apparently fans are convinced that
Fandom Wire? Fandom Wire.
Yes, it's Fandom Wire.
Okay.
Fandom Wire is a source, and they're saying that fans are convinced that Alden Ehrenreich, who played Han Solo in the Solo movie, could be a good Hal Jordan in the DCU. I actually kind of like this casting. I like him. I thought he was good in Solo. I enjoyed him in Solo. Right. I think he could work as a Hal Jordan, actually. I think he can get Hal is a little bit of pompous to him, little arrogance to him, and I think he can pull that off really well. And I think he's got the look too. So I don't know. I'm up for it. Let's see it. All right, moving on.
All right.
So a while back we had discussed a new animation by the great Bruce Timm called Batman the Caped Crusader. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers put the axe to it. And now, according to bleedingcool.com, they are saying that Batman Caped Crusader is getting 2 seasons on Amazon. Now, the only drawback is J.J. Abrams, Jar Jar Abrams is involved in this. That could be a problem, but you got Bruce Timm, so hopefully it'll be good.
Right.
I love the artwork. The artwork is just phenomenal. It's beautiful. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a cross between the Batman animated series of the 90s, Bruce Timm's work, and the original, Tom Kane and Bill Finger Batman. I just love it. I think it's awesome. So hopefully this is true. Hopefully they are going to find a home on Amazon, and we will see the light. This series will see the light of the day. So
that'd be cool.
And I have one last.
I don't see it. I just can't see making the move to a totally different production group company / what streaming service?
I don't know, because you still got Superman and Lois on the WB. On the WB network. They are not. It's not a part of the Warner Brothers thing, I don't think. So I mean, that's technically. I mean, I know it's WB, but it's still not.
It's still WB. CW used to be WB.
Yeah, CW. I'm sorry.
So CW is still WB though.
Sure.
So that's why I'm like, okay, I could get those, but you're moving into a whole new platform. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what happens. I don't know. I have doubts about that personally, but I will be pleasantly surprised.
You have doubts about every news story I bring up.
No. Well, maybe I do.
You seem to.
Right. Maybe.
All right. And the last one's going to be a little jab at you, Stephen.
Right.
So, Screen Rant reporting Keaton's Batman best matches Affleck's tone. So they are saying that Michael Keaton is the best choice to replace Ben Affleck. Now listen.
No, they're not, because they're saying that one's the best one to match his tone, because his tone is the best.
No. That's not what they're saying. I read the article. Thank you very much. They are saying that he is the best one. I said read the article.
No. Who wrote the article? What's the source?
It's from Screen Rant.
Oh, okay.
It's from Screen Rant. See,
Screen Rant is still. Oh yeah. I responded to your post on Facebook. Yeah.
So now listen to this. Replacing Ben Affleck's Batman is no easy task, but it would seem that the DCEU may have found the perfect solution, even with Batgirl's controversial cancellation. Not only does Keaton's Batman possess a number of similarities to Affleck's, but he is also a character capable of fixing a number of DCEU's most pressing problems. Though Affleck's Batman deserves better, replacing him with Michael Keaton's version of the character is actually the best way to proceed with the DCU as a whole.
That's
one of the big what?
That's an opinion piece. That's an opinion piece.
Well, it is an opinion, but they have the right opinion. You have the wrong opinion. Right. Anyway, one of the biggest hurdles to replacing a character is vital to the DCU as Batman is establishing who the new version is and why he's a worthy successor. But Michael Keaton's return preempts this. Keaton's Batman has already had 2 movies, so it's very little need to explain the character's backstory or his origins, as this was already done in Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns. With Keaton's Batman simply coming from another universe, there's no need to retread old ground, and it also doesn't make Burton's movies DCEU canon, which saves a lot of messy exposition. More than that, just saving time. Michael Keaton's Batman Return also practically guarantees an audience boost. Those who enjoyed Burton's movies will follow and be tempted back, particularly as the prospect of his return after 30 years is incredibly enticing. Okay, so we move on. I'm going to skip through this. Okay, here we go. Another way that Michael Keaton is the perfect replacement for Ben Affleck. Hold on to your butt here. In the DCU is that their versions of the hero share a number of similarities. Mm-hmm. Both characters are older incarnations of Batman in the later stages of their respective careers, meaning that both are highly experienced and grizzled veterans of vigilantism. I love that. What's more, both Keaton and Affleck's characters famously broke Batman's, now hold on to your butt, no-kill rule, right, making their approach to crime fighting similar. Well, Ben Affleck's my favorite, but I don't like Michael Keaton because he breaks Batman's #1 rule.
Right.
Yeah. So that kind of just throws your theory in the trash.
Right.
Because your favorite does it too. Right. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in your face.
Throwing me shade. I'd still think that Keaton's Batman would be incredible for Batman Beyond.
Wait, what did you say? What did
Keaton's
you say?
Batman would be great for Batman Beyond.
Agreed. Yes, he would. He'd also be incredible just to carry on as Batman in the new DCU.
Yeah.
All right. With that said,
Right on.
you ready to move on to some Geekdar?
Let's do this.
All right.
Well, you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it? Now, what is it?
I'm having trouble with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
I love that.
Brett and I were just listening to Nerdery and Murdery, and we were listening to their episode on Police Academy. So that's
nice.
where the great Michael Winslow has gotten it. I think that's where he really got his fame, was Police Academy. But I love him in
Agreed. Yeah, I think
love
Winslow. Yeah, Michael Winslow. I agree with you. Michael Winslow really got his blow up start with Police Academy. Yeah.
True. So do you have anything for Geekdar?
I thought the latest Bad Batch episode was epic.
Awesome.
It was visceral in emotion. It really elicited in me a hatred for the Empire, the prejudice of the Empire towards the clones, and then the ending, while surprising, but glad it happened, if that makes sense.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So
I will say Bad Batch season 2, I think, is far superior to Bad Batch season 1. We really should have been covering this one. and this episode was, I think they hit this episode out of the park. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of, there was a eerie, there was almost a Thing feel to this. Did you get that? You know, the movie The Thing?
When they were on the planet, when they first landed on the ice planet kind of a thing, or the cold planet. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
Because I thought that's where they were headed, but it wasn't.
No, I know. It was just, there was some feels, you know?
Yes.
At least that's what I took from it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So Bad Batch. I too watched Bad Batch. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. So I won't rehash that too much. We will cover a finale on Bad Batch, by the way. So last week I brought up the fact that I found out that Peacock has Battlestar Galactica, the 2003-2004 series, whatever it is. And I wanted to rewatch that. And actually it's kind of cool to rewatch that because Katie Sackhoff plays Starbuck on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun watching her because, gosh, she was so young back then. I was rewatching it. I was like, oh my gosh, she's like a kid almost in this, you know?
Right.
But I really like her character in it. I love Starbuck. And I was a big fan of the original. And I can remember when it came out, I was like, no, they gender swapped Starbuck. I'm going to hate this. And no, I like her as much as I like the original Starbuck. So,
right on.
So I started watching it again. I just watched the premiere of it the other night and forgot how good that was. Some fun Easter eggs in it too, because they had the Viper Mark II, which is I love the Vipers, and then they actually had a original Cylon in the quote unquote museum, because they were going to turn the Galactica into a museum, and they had one of the original Cylons in there, encased in there. I was like, original Cylons! I love original Cylons. So I love the imagery of the original series. I think the imagery is better, much more better.
Much more better. Right on. Cheers.
I like the Vipers better. I like the Cylon, their ships better. and I like the look of the Cylons better. But the series is really good, actually. Lots of twists and turns, fun series. But anyway, I digress.
Awesome. I've got so I'll add it to my list.
Yeah, maybe we could retouch up on Battlestar a little bit afterwards. I have one last thing for Geektar. So what was it last month? I said that I started reading the book Noah Primeval.
Yes.
I finished that up.
Ryan Fedewa.
Yeah. Gadawa.
Thank you.
I finished the story. There's kind of a Bible study portion at the end. I'm about halfway through the Bible study portion, but I decided to go ahead and order book 2, which is Enoch Primordial. So I'm looking forward to this. So that is my Geektar for today.
Cool. Right on.
All right. You ready to jump into the ring?
Let's do this.
All right.
It's time for the main event. Right on.
I tried to get through all the news and Geekdar quickly, so
and I'm going to do this disclaimer real quick for everybody. If you have not seen it, go watch it and come back, because we're probably going to hit spoilers right from the get-go. In fact, I think even our rating system is going to end up being a spoiler. So
I haven't even thought of a rating system. You got something in mind?
Oh, yeah, but I can't say anything because I want to make sure we give a spoiler warning. So spoiler warning, everybody. So because I think even, as I said, our rating is going to be a thing. So if you have not seen it, go watch it. Or if spoilers don't bother you, then hey, join us for the discussion. It's worth seeing even if you know what's going on.
We should play this.
There's our spoilerific warning, everybody. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers are here. Actually, I'll even here we go. Spoilers alert. Spoilers alert. Okay. Mike, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Well, I'm dying to find out what your idea of our scale is today. So let's start with that.
Out of mythosaurs.
Nice. I like it. Okay. I'll go with that for sure.
So I was pleasantly surprised when this started. They were already on their way. You know, they're on their way to Mandalore. The episode was called The Mines of Mandalore, which kind of reminds me of the Mines of Moria from the Lord of the Rings movies. So Mines of Mandalore. I
just wanted to state something at first. This came on. I looked at Brenda. I go, Steven's going to hate this episode.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I to be open with you, I didn't think we were going to get to the mines for at least another episode or two.
I loved it. I'm like, yes, let's jump into this.
Let's jump into it. Let's get this pacing going. This is great.
I am totally with you. I thought that they were going to draw out the whole redemption thing till the end of the season, but that tells me they got something bigger, and I like it.
We are so I can't wait to talk to you about your thoughts.
Yeah,
where we're headed
really, really makes me happy. This was a great episode. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I jumped all over you.
I know you do it all the time, but that's okay.
I just wanted to state when it came on, I looked at Brenda and I said, Steven's gonna hate this episode. We're going to fight on this.
I thought it was a most fabulous episode. So before we get into the details, there's so much in this episode that I really enjoyed. A lot of callbacks, a lot of pointing forward, some little nuances that I can't wait to discuss. So I'm giving it, in all openness, a 10 out of 10 mythosaurs. It was a great episode. I'll watch it again. I'll put it to you that way. And everybody knows about my time. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big deal if I say I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to watch it again. So it's 10 out of 10.
I watched it this morning. So I mean, a second time this morning. So,
Oh yeah, okay. That's probably what I should have done.
and I probably will watch it again, most likely probably before the next episode is up too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love Bo-Katan in this one. I thought she was incredible. Baby Yoda was awesome in this. We got lots of cool monsters. Was very surprised. We got the Sislak from Land of the Lost. I joke, but
it is funny.
Those things reminded me of the Sislak.
I wondered why they looked a little bit familiar.
That's what I told Brenda. I go, it's a Sislak. She goes, Land of the Lost. I said, yep.
Yeah.
That's an old TV show there. Old Saturday morning TV show. So we got them. We got that creepy crab. I don't know what the heck he was.
Well,
gosh, that thing was creepy.
It was a great concept for a character. It reminded me of General Grievous.
Yeah.
But I loved how it was a unit that had a body unit, but then also attached itself to a much larger unit, and that's what scared Mando at the beginning. Then you see he's a body unit, then you see how it could move from one to the other. So,
well, I heard somebody describe it as a hermit crab, and I was like, yeah, that actually makes sense because he crawls into different things and then inhabits that,
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty. Granted, he looked like a crab overall when he's in the big, the big, huge one. It just looked like a crab. But yeah, the way he would change in and out of stuff was almost like a hermit crab. How a hermit crab will not only use hermit crab shells, but sometimes will use other things. I've been told that they can actually inhabit other things besides hermit crab shells if they can't find an appropriate shell to change.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that was a neat concept.
So what's your score? Did I miss that? What was your score?
Yeah, I haven't given it.
Sorry.
I don't want to sound like I'm copying off you, but I think I got to give this a 10 too. It was just so good. Again, seeing Bo-Katan back, and there were some really good feels in my opinion, between Bo-Katan and Mando, between Din, that I really liked. I felt there was some bonding there.
Yeah, because I hated the tension in the first episode.
Well, I didn't mind that because they are warring factions more or less. So I didn't mind that, but it just, I don't know. I felt Bo-Katan was a little bit more drawn to his, for lack of terms, religion,
I would say not his religion per se, but his dedication.
Yeah, his dedication. I like that. That's good. That's good. Yeah, his dedication to the Mandalorian creed. The Mandalorian creed. And I felt that she, even though she still thinks he's a zealot, and I tend to agree with her on that, but she's starting to see more purpose in his dedication, as you said.
Yeah, I looked at it as
respect, not purpose, but she's respect,
his love for Mandalore, because she loves Mandalore. You know what I'm saying? She wants Mandalore. I think she's been battling kind of depression of the loss of the world, and yet it happened under her watch, kind of a thing. Right. And, for not, what's the word, going into service to the Empire, capitulating, I think it's the fancy term for not doing what they wanted, or saying, no, we're not going to be your personal army, kind of a thing. And then they're blowing up. And so blew up the planet per se, sort of the top of the planet. So, yeah, go ahead. The whole, her arc is fascinating me after this episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but I've always been a fan of Bo-Katan. I've liked Bo-Katan since she was introduced in Clone Wars. I've thought she was I always thought she was a great character, and I think this just enhances her character that much more. I love the fact that we got R5D4 back. That was awesome. I don't know if he's the actual R5 from Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah,
I don't care. It makes no difference whether he is or not.
correct. Right.
I do feel that Pelly was selling him. I mean, she may not know that that droid was actually important in the Star Wars movie, but her as a character, but she definitely was selling him, well, you got to buy this droid. He was a Republic hero. A rebellion hero,
Rebellion hero, right?
I absolutely love that. I thought it was fantastic. And then
Right.
the droid's all like, I don't want to go.
Right.
I loved him. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I felt there was somewhat. I heard that somebody comment that that Baby Yoda. They got the feel that Baby Yoda doesn't really trust Bo-Katan, but I felt there was a little bit of bonding between Bo-Katan and Baby Yoda also.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm sure Baby Yoda sees some things that we don't, but I also think that Bo-Katan is, after this episode, she's starting to come around to thinking a little more like Din Djarin. And I'm wondering if we're kind of going to have a melding of their two factions out of this, where maybe Din finally comes to a realization that, yeah, I am a bit of a zealot, and my clan is a bit of bunch of zealots too. But at the same time, there is something to be said about upholding the Mandalorian creed, and at the same time, I see Bo-Katan leaning a little more to, yeah, I need to take on a little more of the tradition, not quite to the extent he does, but I need to embrace that tradition of Mandalore a little bit more. He is right in that sense. So I'm wondering if we're coming to a common ground.
Yes, I see it. One of the big themes in the past about Mandalore is always bringing the factions together.
Right.
And so I see it as continuing that. So I see, I agree with you. I think that would be an interesting thing. Do you think there's going to be some kind of love interest action going on?
No. I think it's all respect. I think
partners in purpose for Mandalore.
Yes, exactly.
I like that.
I wish us Star Wars fans would get off the we gotta create a romantic interest between this character and this. Get off that. Just let the story go. Let the story go. Let it do its thing. I don't want to see. I love Din Djarin. I love Bo-Katan. I don't want to see them together. I don't need that. I don't need that.
See him get together with that one from that one season, the first season where he took off his helmet.
Yeah.
I thought that one girl.
I thought that was a better connection.
That was agreed.
With him and Bo-Katan, it's more of respect for their people and protecting their way. Just the way of Mandalore. That's what I want to see. I want to see.
I love it.
More of that. Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I love how you put that. Yeah, I would love to see that. The way you've shared that, I'm like, yeah, that would be much stronger. It would be much more better. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, I watched Star Wars Theory this morning too.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you give your score yet?
Yeah, I did say 10.
You did say 10 out of 10. Okay, sorry. Okay.
So I give it 10 mythosaurs, which
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Save it. Finish your other thought. You were watching who were you watching?
I was watching Star Wars Theory, and
what did he say?
Well, he does a live viewing of it with
and discussion afterwards, the whole bit,
right, and stuff. I didn't, I don't watch that, but
that's in the middle of the night, like when it premieres.
Right.
That's like 3. Is that like 3 a.m.? No, 2 a.m. your time, isn't it?
I don't know. I have no idea what time he does it. All I know is if I got up and did it, then I'd be leaving for work not long after that. So I'm not about to do that.
Yeah,
I get up at 5 as it is. So not as early as my daughter anymore. She gets up at 4 now.
Right. 4 is when I'm coming home.
Right. You're coming home and I'm getting up.
Right.
Anyway, so I forgot where I was going with this.
Star Wars Theory.
Oh, Star Wars Theory. Yeah, he made the comment that some people in his thread were shipping Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, and I'm like, oh, come on, let's not go there.
There were what? They're
shipping. You know the term shipping. When you put two characters in a relationship, shipping.
Oh,
wait.
I learned something new today. Okay, cool. All right, cool.
Well, and then they even combine their names, like for instance, Amy and Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. Penny once gave them their ship name, and it would be Shamey.
Oh,
Amy, Sheldon, Shamey.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. It might be fun to come up with their ship name, but I don't want to ship them.
Right. Agreed.
Wow, Steven, you're old. You don't know shipping.
Sorry.
Man, I hope I don't get as old as you.
Well played.
Anyway.
Well played.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this episode. Now, I got the feeling when we get Din, he first goes to Bo-Katan and he's like, look, I'm going to Mandalore. How about I go with you and your army and so on and so forth, because you said you were going to go there. And she reveals, no, they left me, blah, blah, blah. And you're crazy for going there, blah, blah, blah. So he goes. And then, of course, we get all the great creatures throughout the destroyed Mandalore. Oh, and that was another thing. When he walked into one particular room, all of a sudden, I had to rewatch it too. I had a flashback of one of the final episodes of Clone Wars, the one with Ahsoka and Darth Maul battling on Mandalore, and I was like, "Is that the room? Is that the room where Ahsoka and Darth Maul were battling?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, how cool would it be if Bo-Katan walked in there and got some kind of flashback?" And like we saw like a live action version of Ahsoka and
if
Darth
we got
Maul.
live action flashbacks.
What?
That'd be great.
I'm sitting there going, I want this to happen. This needs to be a thing. Give me live actions, recreations of some of those scenes. That would be just amazing. But so I got that feel, and I thought that was really super cool. But so anyway, and then we go through the whole thing, and then Mando gets captured by the crab creature, blah, blah, blah. And he tells Baby Yoda, go get Bo-Katan. And somebody else had mentioned, well, why didn't Baby Yoda go after Boba Fett? Because Boba Fett's more of an ally to. And I'm like, I wouldn't have even thought Boba Fett. Not at all. Because Bo-Katan knows Mandalore. Boba Fett doesn't.
Right.
So to me, it
made total sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, this makes sense.
And he already knew what Bo-Katan already knew what he was doing, where he was going.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing that has to be other than where Din is at. That's the only thing that needs to be explained. And like she said, they got that from the R5 unit. So, no big deal. But so Baby Yoda gets there, and I just got the feel that Baby Yoda looks at her and says, Auntie Bo-Katan, Daddy needs help.
Right.
And then when they land, when she lands on Mandalore, and Baby Yoda kind of lets out this little sigh, kind of. To me, that was Baby Yoda's way of saying the famous line, "I got a bad feeling about this." In fact, I wished it would have said it in the closed caption at the bottom. I think that would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm,
But yeah, so there was so much good stuff in this episode.
Yeah,
so much good stuff.
There's two things I want to make sure we discuss. One is the Mythosaur, and we'll get to that. But one of the things that I found fascinating, I guess there's three. Mythosaur we'll get to. The first thing is that I want to talk about is the Darksaber. And then I also want to talk more about Grogu and Grogu's future.
Wow, okay.
And what this episode alluded to, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Talking about the Darksaber, we obviously see the whole aspect of Din Djarin is still struggling to wield the Darksaber.
Yes.
And that took me back to when with the armorer training him to use it, saying he had what kind of all this baggage. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
In the training. And so I thought, he's still got baggage.
He still does. He still does.
But then, then you see Bo-Katan wield that thing, and you're like, that is freaking awesome.
But now Bo-Katan's had it. She's had it before.
Yes.
So
yes.
She knows how to use it, and he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. That's the difference between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it still could be argued that she didn't gain it properly because Sabine gave it to her.
Oh,
but,
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
I'm starting to wonder if they're going to disprove that it has to be. I don't know. Because at this point, I think, well, it depends on who's going to end up.
Well, technically, he got the General Grievous's cousin was able to get it from. I just call him Grievous's cousin. That character.
Well, but he was battling. So
yeah, and
I mean that still goes by that, but
then she got it from
him.
Yeah. So
and then she skewered him with it.
Oh, it was great. That just to see her wield that was great. Was fascinating. The ease. It was artistic in nature to what she was doing with it. I loved it.
I think at one point Din will master it. I think he will master it eventually. I think what we're coming to is at the end of the season, he's going to have it mastered, and he is going to lead the Mandalorians on a battle. That's what I think we're heading to. I think that's what we saw in some of the previews with the Mandalorians doing, like skydiving, like chirpers diving out of a plane into a battle and stuff like that. I think that's where we're headed. And then eventually I think Grogu becomes a Mandalorian.
I think that is my thought. I want to hear this. I want to hear your opinion on this. Yes.
Well, I mean, okay, so if we go with what Favreau says, or did Favreau or Filoni say it? Maybe Filoni said it. I forget. One of the two of them said that Grogu was with Luke for 2 years. Whether you believe that or not, I have a hard time with it, but I guess we have to accept that. So he's had some Jedi training, and obviously he is wielding the Force more. We see him throw that Sislak out the. That was awesome. By the way,
that was great. Yeah.
And even Bo-Katan says, well, you must be pretty good in the Force. You found your way to me. But it could be argued that R5-D4 was piloting too. It could be argued that. I don't know. But then again, he also flew. Well, R2 was with him when he flew from Luke to Mando. So I don't know. That's all debatable. But I think we are seeing his Jedi abilities are advancing. And Mando's obviously teaching him, he's like, look, you have to know your way around the galaxy. You have to know how to
he's teaching him the ways of a Mandalorian.
He's teaching him the ways of the Mandalorian. All the things that he had been taught as a child, he's teaching to Grogu as if Grogu is actually his son. So, he has taken him in as a foundling, as he was taken in as a foundling.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I still say they stole Jango's origin and applied it to Mando, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they did. They stole Jango's origin. But yeah, it's obvious that he is training Grogu to become a full-fledged Mandalorian, which is going to be super interesting. And I think we're going to see basically more or less, and I don't say this to be disrespectful, but we're going to see the second coming of the Mandalore, the original, the first Mandalorian,
the Jedi Mandalorian,
right? The Jedi Mandalorian. He was
going to see the new one.
He was Mandalorian. I think that's what we're about to see, the second coming of the Mandalore. So, and it will be Grogu. That's what I think they're building up to. Now, how long it takes to get there, I don't know. Because even Filoni said recently in an interview, somebody asked him about if they have an end in mind. He said, there's no end in mind. I
saw that article. Yeah.
Which actually is refreshing, because I think we as Star Wars fans are conditioned to, okay, do we know I want you to have a map and a plan. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But for a TV series like this, I don't think it's a bad thing to say, look, we don't have his ending written out yet. We're going to let this play out. And then, eventually we'll get there. But that means that just goes to show you this could go on for a long time. And so far, I'm up for it. I want to see it go on a long time. If the writing keeps up the way it is now, and and they're giving these great stories, yes, I say keep it going for a long time. That's fine. So, so yeah, I don't know how long it'll take to get Grogu to that level, but I do believe that's where we're going.
Awesome. I would say we got the hints, just like you were saying. Not only said this is how you got to know your way around the galaxy, but it also said here's our home.
Yes.
When you talk about Mandalore.
Yes.
And just with that entailed, I'm thinking, okay, he's saying our home, it's family terminology, it's the whole I think you're square on. I was looking forward to getting your insights, because I thought, I wonder, are they leading to Grogu becoming really a Mandalorian, and he becomes the next Mandalorian Jedi?
Well, this might be a good time now to talk about the tenets, because Bo-Katan does talk about the tenets. She says that her father would march her out as a child, and the people love to hear the princess recite the tenets of the Mandalorian. So here are the 6 tenets of the Mandalorian. Speak the language, wear the armor, serve the clan, rally when called, defend your children, and raise them as Mandalorians. I absolutely love that. I think that is so cool.
Yeah.
And then I also found the Mandalorian Creed, which is what Din Djarin lives by. Strength is life, for the strong have the right to rule. Honor is life, for with no honor one may as well be dead. Loyalty is life, for without one's clan one has no purpose. Death is life, one should die as they lived. I think that is super cool. I like both of those. So,
yep, very much so. Now, one of the things that you put on there was the first one. Let's get to the mythosaur, because we're running to the end of our show. So he goes into the waters, and he's doing the creed. Was he doing the creed?
Well, I don't think he's doing the creed. Um, the only way it was more like a baptism. You know what I mean? Kind of like a Christian baptism. That's the way I took that as, not necessarily the creed, but like a rededication, more or less. That's what I took from that, and the whole trip to Mandalore felt almost like, to me, like it would feel for a Christian to go to Israel and go to the Wailing Wall.
Okay. You mean a Jew to the Wailing Wall?
Well, no, the Christians also, it's both. That's kind of a destination for both religions, if you think about it.
Okay. But
I mean, I would love to go there. I would absolutely love to go there.
Sure.
I would be overwhelmed going there. So, and I just get, that's, I don't mean to be, to downplay Christianity or Judaism, but I'm just kind of comparing that to a real
the event. Sure. Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
Mecca for a Mandalorian.
Yeah. Mecca would be Islam,
right? But a similar
same kind of journey,
right.
The journey and yeah, absolutely, yes, yep. So when he's going in the water, then all of a sudden, I didn't see it coming. All of a sudden he disappeared.
Okay. Question. What pulls him down? Was it the mythosaur that pulled him down?
I say yes. I say it was the mythosaur, because how else did he go that distance, that far, that fast? Yeah.
That's true.
I say it was the mythosaur. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, the mythosaur didn't seem like it. It's not like he was going to eat him or.
That's the question. Yeah.
The mythosaur seemed almost dormant in a way. So,
or allowed the two of them, and because Bo-Katan going down there, which is awesome. She just jumped right in that water. And I thought, oh, she'll find him right there. I'm like, why is she not able to find him? She's going deeper and deeper and deeper into the waters. Yeah.
He went fast too.
And do you think it was a baptism for her as well?
I do. I kind of do. I think it was kind of, unexpected for her, but I do feel that she almost, I feel she kind of went through a baptism herself. I really
think as he was going in the water and she's like, whatever, but then listening and paying attention.
Right.
You could see, I thought the acting was great.
Well, you had that moment, you had that bonding moment before he goes into the water, and she's telling him about her childhood, and she's telling him about her dad. And he's like, I would have liked to met your dad. And then he says, this is the way, I'm getting a little choked up.
Yeah. Because it was good. It was a great moment. It was
awesome. So yeah, I think in that sense, you're right. I think it was almost a baptism for her too, That's cool. That is super cool. This was a great episode.
Yeah. But then on the way up, she saw the mythosaur. She saw the mythosaur.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He didn't actually see it because he was still unconscious. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
the mythosaur didn't attack her.
Nope. But she talks about the mythosaur afterwards, because then she talks about the fact that they, the mythosaur, they use the mythosaur as basically their symbol of their planet and stuff.
Yes.
Which was another thing that was cool, because most of the Mandalorians, they have something on their shoulders, like Boba Fett, he has the mythosaur skull on his shoulder. And then we saw Din Djarin, he got the mudhorn on his shoulder, and he got that, he went through a rite of passage to get that, because the armorer makes it for him and says, okay, well, your symbol will be the mudhorn, so that was kind of a rite of passage for him.
Right.
But I think what Bo-Katan was saying was more or less the mythosaur being the symbol of the planet of Mandalore is basically like the default, okay, so you don't have something that that you had to go through a rite of passage of, but by default you get the mythosaur. That's the way I took that anyway.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if it would change to the Mythosaur after this.
Well, if the Mythosaur is the default, then I don't think it would change to the Mythosaur.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think just because of the fact that he went through a rite of passage to get that, it's going to remain the Mudhorn.
No,
I don't see him changing that.
Well, the thing is we've now got to the point where there's still one that exists.
Oh yeah. And okay, so then we go back to season 1 of the Mandalorian.
Okay,
and we got Klieg and we got Din Djarin, and Klieg is teaching Din Djarin how to ride the blurgs, like the small dewbacks, basically. And Klieg's kind of getting a little upset with him, like he's like, "Oh, your people rode the Mythosaur. This shouldn't be a problem for you."
That's right. Nick Nolte's voice.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
Your people rode the great Mythosaur. This shouldn't be a problem for you.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, that's right.
And then we had Boba Fett rode the Rancor in the Book of Boba Fett series. So are we looking forward? Awesome. Only, man, him writing that would be like him writing Godzilla. That thing looked like it was as big as Godzilla.
Yeah.
The Rancor looks about as big as I would say Son of Kong. Not even King Kong. Okay.
Right.
So not even King Kong is, but from what we saw of the Mythosaur, holy crap, it looked like Godzilla.
So based upon all the stuff that you saw within this episode, where do you think we're headed? What do you think we'll see? You're already alluding to it. If he would ride a Mythosaur, that would be awesome. So
we are definitely heading to some kind of war, but the question is, who's the war with? Because I think the factions are coming together. I think all the different Mandalorian factions are going to come together to fight some big war. But I don't feel we've gotten what that war is yet. So far I don't see it yet, but I think we are coming together for a combined purpose. The Children of the Watch are going to come together with Bo-Katan's clan, and they are going to fight something together. And I think maybe we might see the restoration of Mandalore, or at least we may head into maybe next season will actually be we'll get like this war in this season, and then the next season get the restoration of Mandalore.
The beginning of the restoration of Mandalore.
Kind of like how we've seen Navarra, how we've seen that progress through the seasons, I'm kind of wondering if we see the same thing with Mandalore, where it actually gets restored to its former glory.
Yeah, that's true, because we have seen a progression of
huge.
Yeah.
Because it started off as nothing, as barren waste, and then the next time we see it, we start to see it more populated, and businesses are popping up, and then by the time we see it in this season with Grief Karga, it's thriving. So I'm just wondering if we're going to see some kind of progression of Mandalore, like the Mandalorians take it back over and then they restore it and
they rebuild their planet,
and then maybe Bo-Katan actually takes her rule at that point. I don't know.
Right.
That's where I think we might be heading. So right. I just don't know who the war is with. That's all.
Right. I would still assume Empire.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. That would make sense. Because in the beginning of this, I would have just thought, okay, the factions are warring against each other. The clans are just warring against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But with this episode, I think we're starting to see the clans come together. That's what I think is happening. I think we're building up to the clans coming together for a combined purpose.
Yeah, agreed. It's gonna be good stuff. That's all gotta say about that. Yeah, it's good. This is just a great episode. I was happy with the pace that we just got right into it. Wasn't any extra episode to still try to find the part for the IG-88 and go back there and come out. No, we're hitting Mandalore. Bam.
Yeah, I was very happy that it's like, okay, let's dive into Mandalore. This is going to be cool. And
Yeah.
it was super, super cool.
It was great. There's so much in it. So yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, cool beans.
Makes me excited about the rest of the season. That's for sure.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
And I don't know what the runtime on this episode was. I know it was a little longer than episode 1, but I didn't, when it ended, I had this oh my gosh, it's over, but it wasn't, it's over because it's only 38 minutes or, it was just like, oh man, we're already done. I want more, it was that excitement of, I want more. I want the next episode. Yeah. And it wasn't even it wasn't even so much of a cliffhanger. I mean, it was a little bit of a cliffhanger, but not like, this major cliffhanger, like, the whole tune in next week to see if Batman and Robin get their heads chopped off, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that kind of cliffhanger, but at the same time, I had that feeling of, oh man, I want more. I want more. I don't want this to end yet,
Right. Very much so. Very much so. Okay. Well, hey everybody, please in the comments, let us know what your score is. I'm curious to see what you guys felt about this episode. Please let us know because it was, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely.
I did too. Like I said, I just look so forward to what we got to come. I think it's going to be really good.
Yep. Well, with that, I want to encourage everybody to, if you would, check out, here, let me plug in the little banner so everyone sees it. Do our sponsorship here real quick. If you have not tried audiobooks, I encourage you to do so. If you go to the website, audibletrial.com/2geeks, I'll share my screen here real quick so people can see what that looks like. That's the one. This is the one. This is the way. No, I'm just kidding.
This is the way.
audibletrial.com/2geeks takes you to this page to where you can try Audible Premium Plus for free. And then after 30 days, it goes to $14.95. You can cancel anytime. It's not like a year contract. It's a month to month. 1 credit, for 1 credit. Well, if you're already a Prime member, it says you get 2 credits for your first one, but good for any premium selection titles you like. It's yours to keep. So it's all freebie. And there's all kinds of different ones in there. And then you also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals that are free. And you can get as many of those as you want, which is pretty sweet. They will send you an email. This is through Audible, so Amazon Audible. They'll send you an email before the trial ends just to say, hey, we really want you to try this out and stuff. So, but there's all kinds of different ones. They've got, I guess it's up here. Sorry, everybody. But like you could go, that's my library, but browse. They have mysteries and thrillers, sci-fi, fantasy, history, computers, technology, health and wellness, biographies, memoirs, business careers, romance, literature, fiction, teen, kids, science, engineering, arts, entertainment, religion, spirituality. Then they've got them organized by bestsellers, new releases coming soon. So there's a whole bunch of different ones. It's great because Audible, allows me to listen while I'm doing some like work, just maybe some mundane stuff, or I'm just, working on documents or that, those kinds of things. But I love it. Absolutely love it. I enjoy it. I just got, Ian Desher's Star Wars. I had already gotten Return of the Jedi. So now I have Star Wars and the New Hope. And so I'm getting ready to listen to it.
That's nice.
which was a lot of fun. So anyway, I just want to let everybody aware, if you would just go check us out at audibletrial.com/2geeks and check that out.
And speaking of Ian Desher, I just released a couple of our videos from early on that before we did video on YouTube. We took video, but then we would just put it on Ko-fi, Ko-fi subscribers. But now I've released those on YouTube, so anybody can watch them. But we got to interview Ian Desher. He was fantastic, by the way.
Oh, he's fabulous.
So go back and check that video out and like that. I may even tag it to this video, so you might be able to watch it at the end of this, once this is processed anyway.
Right.
I can't do it right away. And then I also put up there John Jackson Miller, who is also another Star Wars author. He's wrote quite a few Star Wars books, including Kenobi, which I have to say is a very good book. I've read that book and I really enjoy it. And he's also done some other works such as Battlestar Galactica comic books.
He's done Picard.
Yeah, he's done Picard,
Star
Trek, just tons and tons of stuff. So there's a lot of geek stuff that he's done that you guys could check out. So make sure to check out John Jackson Miller and check out our interview with him. Other than that, speaking of liking and subscribing, please go like us on Facebook and subscribe to us here on YouTube. Just give the little bell a tickle and smash that like and subscribe button, please, because it does help the algorithm and helps us get seen by other geeks just like yourself. And I think that's all I got. How about you, Steven? Anything else?
Yeah, just one last thing. Don't forget to check out our website, 2geeksmike.com, 2geeksmike.com for all things 2 Geeks. You'll find a reference to our merch page, to our Ko-fi page, which is ko-fi.com/2geeks, where we have all kinds of fun extra stuff as well. And then if you want to contact us and get a hold of us, the best way is our email, show@2geeksmike.com. And that's it. Great show, man. Thanks for your insights. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate it very much. And with that said, over and out, and this is the way. Thank you for joining us today on the 2 Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the Force be with you.